Hi, my name is Amber. Welcome back to my channel, Books and Beaches. So today we are here a little more casual because I realize it is already August 7th and I haven't filmed my July wrap up yet. Now, in the past couple months, I have been doing more of a vlog style wrap up and I'm really enjoying that. I was just gone way too much in July to make sure that I was keeping up with that style. So here we are to talk about everything that I've read in July. Now, I did finish 9 books, which is a really, really good month, especially for being gone. But when I'm camping, I do a lot of reading. But it was a month, as I get myself situated here, that I did a lot of reading on my Kindle. So you're going to be seeing a lot of images of covers. And one book I realized I gave to my mom to read yesterday, so I don't even have that one here to show you. So something different that I haven't done in past wrap-ups is I want to give you a little bit more stats about how my reading month looked. I do keep a spreadsheet. I think I've linked it before, but I will make sure to link it below. And I want to say it was made by Hardback Hoarder. So I will double check on that, but I'll link the one I've used below. And so we get kind of a spit out of all the different stats of your reading month. So in July, like I said, I read 9 books, which equated out to be 2,919 pages. It says hours listened was 42, but let's face it, I listened to everything on 2 times speed, so more than likely that was only 21 hours, but that's about how long all of the audiobooks were. My average rating here was 4.05, which as I kind of look back, I give so many books 4 stars. That makes a lot of sense. Now the spreadsheet does have a place where you could do like books acquired, library books, rereads, etc. I am not so great on keeping up on those pages of the spreadsheet, so those won't reflect here, but I did do a book haul in July, I believe, so that'll tell you something. I did start 2 series, which was really exciting. And so then the way it broke down was it was 4 audiobooks, 5 ebooks, and no physical, and I didn't mark down a mixture. I didn't know I could do that. I learned something new about my spreadsheet the 7th month in, so all right. But heavily weighed on ebooks because of the amount I went camping, which bringing my Kindle is just so much easier. All of them were novels. None of them were graphic novels or manga or novellas. They were 8 adult and 1 YA, and my readings are kind of all over the place, so you're gonna see that. And no surprise, most of them were thriller or mysteries. And then we do have some horror and historical and actually 3 romance. So it's going to be kind of a surprising mix as we jump in here. So let's go ahead and take a look at the books I did read. So I've got my list here. The very first book I read was Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. This is one I just loaned out to my mom, but I really enjoyed it. I gave this one a 4. Basic premise is these 2 people meet one day in a coffee shop and end up spending that whole entire day together. And this whole story is based in Canada. And they have plans to meet 1 year later at the resort of our main character, the woman, at her mom's resort. And the guy doesn't show up. And come to find out, I think it's 10 years later, she is taking over the resort and he is somehow involved. So the story kind of goes from there. I don't want to give too much away. I did really quite enjoy it. I do agree with some of the other reviews that after 1 day, you're like, for me, it's like that insta love, and I don't always believe in that. But overall, I enjoy the story. I really like Carly Fortune's writing, and I will be sure to pick up things from her as she comes out with them. After that, I kind of stuck in my romance era, I guess, and I picked up Abby Jimenez's Yours Truly. I did do this on audiobook. I'm almost positive. Yes, because there were 2 different narrators, which I really enjoyed, and this one came so highly recommended from so many of my friends here on BookTube that I just knew I wanted to pick it up. Plus, I love Abby Jimenez. I love watching her on TikTok. Her and her dogs are so funny, and her daughter is an amazing musicianal talent. So, but I ended up giving this one a 4. This, we have 2 doctors, and they're basically, it's like the fake dating trope, and because his brother is marrying his ex-girlfriend. Yes. So, and great anxiety representation. Abby Jimenez does such a wonderful job at writing really strong characters, which I really enjoyed. And I love how things came together. So was it perfect? No. Did I predict some of it? Yes. But I do highly recommend, and I will continue to pick up what Abby writes in the future. So the next one I did pick up on my Kindle. I will put the link to the cover here, or the picture of the cover, and that was Keep It in the Family by John Mars. Now, I have read one other book by John Mars, but I did just pick up a new one by him, and I have a couple on my Kindle that I want to read. And this one, like I said, was Keep It in the Family. 5 stars, unbelievable twists and turns. We have a couple that is currently living with his parents because they've bought this house that actually both of them wanted to buy, and they discover some kind of wild and crazy stuff in the attic, and the entire story goes from there. Definitely some trigger warnings for, you know, serial killer things and serial killers dealing with children, but wild ride. Did not expect a lot of the twists and turns, and I love that this one has multiple perspectives. So I do believe it was available on Kindle Unlimited because I think that's why I picked it up. Yeah, great fast read, and I now have several more of John Mars books on my Kindle ready to go. So now a book that I didn't quite enjoy in the month of July was the one I picked up next, and this one also was on Kindle Unlimited, and I want to pull up the title so I can make sure I can get it right. And I believe it was, I'm a therapist and my patient is going to be the next school shooter. I had seen this one kind of float different places, and I wasn't sure what to expect, but it ended up being, I believe, 6 different patient stories, and I think they're fiction, almost positive. And it says it's written by Dr. Harper, and this is actually a series. I do not plan on picking up the series. The stories were weird, and some were slightly creepy, but I just, like, didn't get it. I don't know. I mean, not that they were necessarily stories that I think you need to, like, quote unquote get, but I just didn't enjoy it. So, excuse me, gave that one a 2, and I won't be picking up the next ones. But, and I just noticed Siri was on my computer. I didn't get that.
Could you try again?
Yeah, she was listening that whole time. Okay. After that, though, I did pick up a book that I not only had on NetGalley, I had the ebook and the audiobook on NetGalley, and had the early release from Book of the Month, and that is Dark Corners by Megan Golden. This is a continuation of The Night Swim, which I have back here. And you do not necessarily have to read The Night Swim to pick up this one. It deals with the same podcast person, Rachel Crowell, but this book doesn't necessarily spoil anything in the first one. So if you didn't read the first one, you can read this one, and vice versa. She is trying to help solve kind of this missing influencer case, and also dealing with this guy who is in prison for, I think it's breaking and entering, but they also suspected him of killing a whole bunch of girls. So she kind of goes in and helps. There's a lot of, like, Instagram influencer culture involved. She goes to a conference and kind of plays an influencer. So it was very, very heavy on stereotypes that way. But overall, I really enjoyed the story, and I did not expect where it was going to go. So I definitely think you should pick up the audiobook with that one, because it's got that podcast element in it, and it was fantastic. So I gave that one a 4, if I didn't say that already. Next up, I don't want to talk too much about this one because this one is one of my 5-star predictions. I did a video not too long ago. I'll make sure to link it below, where I have 3 different, and actually I think I'm going to add a 4th book in there, of books that I had my friends pick out, whether they were friends from BookTube or quote unquote real life. I sent them a message and said, give me a book out of this pile, because these are all books from 2023 that I wanted to read. And so the book I picked up was The Home for Unwanted Girls, and this is by Joanna Goodman. Basic premise is we have a young girl who ends up getting pregnant, and her daughter is turned over to, like, an orphanage, and we're getting both perspectives from the little girl and the mother in different timelines. And I'm debating on what my rating was for this. Instantly after reading it, I rated it. Actually, you know what? Hold on. I'm not even going to tell you that because I'm going to wait for my 5-star predictions. I almost ruined my own video. Goodness gracious. So sorry. But anyways, stay tuned for more on that one when I do some of my other ones as well. So, all right. After that one, a book I picked up that I kept mixing up the name on. And I did talk about this one in the camping vlog that I just posted. That was Same Time Next Summer. And this is by Annabelle Monaghan. Yes. I really enjoyed this one. This was one I got off a NetGalley and I didn't know what to expect. But we have the perspective of 2 different people who grew up together in beach houses next door to each other. And they were kind of like teenage love. And eventually they're kind of, during the school year, they're always in different places. And when they start to go off to college, something happens. Now, I talked about in my vlog, I really appreciated in this one that they didn't make you wait until the very end of the book to figure out what that something was, where I feel like we get so many romances that you're like, okay, like what is their issue? And you find out and you're like, that was it. So I appreciated that this one came more at the midpoint and then you're getting the more current timeline. So really enjoyed that one, gave it a 4. I will definitely look at picking up the other book that Annabelle Monaghan has written and other things that she comes out with in the future. So the next book I picked up after that, I also talked about in my camping vlog, and that was One of Us is Back, which is the 3rd book in the One of Us is Lying series by Karen M. McManus, one of my favorite YA authors. I talked about this in my vlog, but I was nervous that since I hadn't done a reread of a lot of those books, or the 2 other books in the series, that I was going to forget a lot of the details. And I feel like this one did a good job at reminding me of most things. There were a few things that I still didn't remember, but I didn't feel like too left out because of the fact that like I hadn't read it. So I really enjoyed this one, but I don't want to say too much more about it because you do need to read the first 2 in order to know what's going on in this one. So gave that one a 5. I think it's a great way to end that trilogy. And as always, I'm going to continue to pick up things that Karen M. McManus writes because, like I said, she's one of my favorite YA authors. And then the very last book that I finished in the month of July was a book that I saw on one of the Facebook groups I'm a part of. And I think it's like psychological thriller fans or something. And this was Don't Let Her Stay by Nicola Sanders. I had never heard of this book before. It's on Kindle Unlimited and it is a super fast read. I don't even think it's that long. I think it's under 300 pages, but it is twists and turns, and yeah, until the very last couple pages, I had no idea like how it was going to end. We basically have a premise of, we have this woman who married an older man and they have a baby, but this older man had been either married or for sure engaged before and has like a 20-year-old daughter. 20-year-old daughter has kind of been estranged from her father, but decides to come back and she wants to meet like her little sister and be a part of the family again. And she comes into this family and is basically outright rotten. And you watch all of the different things this poor woman who has had that baby goes through with this daughter, and I won't say much more, but it is crazy. So easy 5 stars on that one. So glad I picked it up after hearing about it in that Facebook group. And yeah, I'll be looking into other things that they have written. I should say Nicole Sanders has written, and other things that get suggested in that group. So that is everything I've read for the month of July. Like I said, it was a pretty good reading month. August, we'll see what happens. I'm slowly going back to work here. I have a very flexible schedule in August, but then that last week of August, we go back to school full time. Our kids come back after September 1st, after Labor Day. So we will see what happens in my month of August. I know right now I've already finished 2 books. It is August 7th and I am tackling Project Hail Mary because I promised Lindsay at Lindsay's Little Library that I would do it for our in-person book club. So hopefully when I update you in August, I will have finished that one. But what did you pick up in the month of July? Anything that I should be adding to my TBR? Let me know in the comments below. As always, if you like this video, feel free to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.